September 7, 1812. The air, thick with the coming autumn, hung heavy over the fields near the village of Borodino, 70 miles west of Moscow. This was no ordinary day. This was the day Napoleon's Grande Armée, the seemingly invincible force that had swept across Europe, met the full, unyielding fury of the Russian Imperial Army. Imagine the scene. Over 250,000 men locked in a brutal, deafening struggle. The thunder of hundreds of cannons, the screams of men and horses, the constant, terrifying rattle of musket fire. Napoleon, confident in his tactical genius, aimed to shatter the Russian lines, to force a decisive victory that would open the road to Moscow. He launched wave after wave of infantry and cavalry against the heavily fortified Russian positions, particularly the Raevsky Redoubt, a key point, a heart of the Russian defense. The fighting was savage. Think close-quarters combat, bayonets, sabers, men fighting hand-to-hand, driven by desperation and national pride. The ground itself churned to mud and blood. The Russians, under the command of General Kutuzov, were not giving up. The Raevsky Redoubt changed hands multiple times. Each attack, each counterattack cost thousands of lives. Imagine the French surging forward, believing victory was within their grasp, only to be met by a wall of Russian steel and a renewed, roaring defiance. The sheer scale of the carnage was unprecedented. Mountains of corpses, both French and Russian, piled high. The air, thick with the stench of gunpowder and death. Even Napoleon, accustomed to the horrors of war, was said to be shaken by the sheer, unrelenting brutality. By nightfall, the battlefield was a scene of almost unimaginable devastation. Tens of thousands lay dead or dying. The French had technically gained ground, capturing the Raevsky Redoubt and other key positions. But at what cost? Kutuzov, though bloodied, ordered a strategic withdrawal under the cover of darkness. He knew that while he hadn't won in the traditional sense, he hadn't been defeated. He had preserved the core of his army. He had inflicted crippling losses on Napoleon. Borodino was a Pyrrhic victory for Napoleon. A victory, yes, but one bought at a price so terrible it foreshadowed his doom. The Grande Armée, weakened and demoralized, would enter Moscow, only to find it a deserted, burning husk. The long, agonizing retreat that followed through the brutal Russian winter would become a legend of suffering and destruction. Borodino, the beginning of the end for Napoleon's empire. Explanation of